You're a snob. You really are, Catherine. We are thinking the very thing that you were trying to avoid in a guy, which was understandable because of who you are in your profession. I get it. But that very thing that you were trying to avoid was that same thing that rests and lied in yourself. Hi friends, and welcome back to Willow Reviews. If you're new here on this channel, I share with you delightful, family-friendly, and faith-based movies and television shows. As always, I encourage you to get somewhere, get comfortable, get cozy in your secret place, relax, clear those thoughts. And yes, we about to dive into something special. Every time we're going to dive into something special. Y'all, happy Wednesday, by the way. Wow, it's the middle of the week, so I know a lot has happened. A lot has been playing out in your mind, your thoughts, and all of that. But y'all let me know in the comment section below, like everything, anything that I missed. Like, what have you been watching? Whether it was streaming, going to the theaters at all. Anything that just left your heart full of joy and courage, and you were just bubbling over with laughter, hope, you were inspired by something that you watched. Please share, let me know all of that good stuff down below. As for me, I got a lot done today. I have to say, I really did. And I've been working on quite a few different things, like seriously, y'all. So please keep me in your prayers as far as that goes. But overall, I'm in a good mood. I'm filled with a lot of joy. I'll say that. Joy, and I'm happy, y'all. I'm happy. I really am. Anytime that I miss, like I usually say, anytime that I miss any days coming on here, spending with y'all, I feel like I don't miss something. I'm a little bit behind, but overall, every time that I come back here, there's my happy place again. I'm like, oh, it just feels so good to be here and to be talking with y'all. It's a blessing, like seriously. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started with our special feature today, which is titled Anything for Love. Now, you can find this film streaming right now on Halllmark Plus. But first, let me tell y'all what this film is about. A high-powered executive lies about her career on her online dating profile. What are you doing? Where do you do that at? While her match also hides his true identity. Okay, now, so y'all know this film, it was interesting. It really was. But I have to say, I started out, because I watched this more than once, because I really wanted to get some insight. It was like the first time, y'all know, when you watch something, you can kind of miss little things here and there that could change your perspective on things. And that is exactly what happened to me watching this film. Like the first time around, I was all for your girl, Catherine. I was. And I really didn't get stuck on her flaws and different things that she could have done better. And I should have. I really should have. But that second time around, y'all, I saw a whole different side of Miss Catherine here. I did. I had to check her, put her in her place. I'm like, what? Girl, no, you did not. But yeah, we are introduced here to Catherine. Catherine is, she's a boss. Like the terms that people would use nowadays. She really is. She owns this company. Like, she's inheriting this from her father. She helped build this with him. That has been her whole nature. Her whole personality screams, I own it. I know who I am. I'm confident. Like, if you come to me, you have to step to me correctly. Okay. You don't just step to me any kind of way. Don't you know that I am Miss Catherine here? I'm not Miss Cat. I am Catherine. That is how she moves, y'all. So it's very interesting. It is. But at the same time, you see this vulnerable side to Catherine. This side that lets you know that just because it reminds us as the viewers, that thing, y'all, that y'all be like, the grass is green on the other side. We see here that It isn't. We don't really know exactly what people are going through and what they have to give up to obtain what we think on the outside is the life, to have everything at your fingertips, that people get it together when you walk in the room. People are often intimidated by you. That is what Catherine is used to. And she knows her element, she knows her lane, she's comfortable in it. At the same time, she knows that she has certain dreams, different things that she would like to see better about her life, but is it really worth taking the risk? Because it is a risk to her. She knows that most people would fake the funk with her. Most people when they see her, they see her name, they see money, they see fame, they see fortune, they see opportunity. So she knows she has to move carefully. She knows that she cannot just have anybody in her circle. And that is so unfortunate because can you imagine, like I said, from the outside to us, the people, the regular old Joes, your everyday life people, we look at them and feel like, girl, I switch places in a minute. Money would take care of this. Money would take care of that. You can throw money at anything and at anyone. That is how the average everyday person may look at a Catherine. But Catherine herself, that's not really how she sees it. I mean, to a degree, she does see it that way. That's why her circle is often quite close, and she doesn't trust easily. She doesn't wear her heart on her sleeve. She's not that kind of woman. At the least bit, she really isn't. But at the same time, she does have these secret desires. She would love to truly connect with someone that gets her in every capacity. And I can understand that because I feel like on any level you are, whether you are up high or you're down low, or you may be somewhere in between, we all desire that connection. We all want that person, that one person, whether it's a friend or it could be something a little bit more than that. You want someone that gets you, that understands you and love you and like you for who you are. And typically right now in the time and day that we live in, it is hard to come across that because we are in a very digital age where most people have the resources to pretend, to put on a face, whether it's online, especially online, but even in person, most people will go all out of their way to stretch, I would say, your imagination. And because truly it is your imagination when you find that these things are not even real. And that is what Catherine is afraid of. So she doesn't necessarily want to step out into that world. Not right now. However, she does have this executive assistant, who I love. What's her name again? Okay, Debbie. I love Debbie. For Debbie to work for someone like Catherine, you would have to be truly humble. You would have to know who you are, because a person like Catherine can make you feel, not intentionally, but make you feel like you're a little bit less than. And it's not that something that I would have to say that Catherine does on purpose. I don't think she's aware of it. She doesn't know truly how much of a snob she is. And she learns just how much she is. Just that along this journey, this quick little journey we go on with her dating experience here. So I went for a wild ride, because like I said, that first time when you get on that ride, you cool. Everything is wonderful about it. And then sometimes you can go on that ride that second time and you see different things that could have been better, or it wasn't all what it was cracked up to be, or you find all kind of different things that second time around. And that's how I felt watching this film the second time around. I enjoyed it just as much the first time, but the second time, I saw Catherine differently. I saw her as a snob. I saw her as someone undeserving in different things. I saw her as a person that, okay, yes, you may kind of been, in a sense, born with a silver spoon in your mouth, but does that give you the right to treat people the way that you treat people? I mean, come on, your executive assistant. I really did not like how there was a scene in this film and she was in her emotions. Catherine was in her emotions, okay? But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because I didn't even get into Jack here. When we meet Jack, you want the best for him because you see how much of an honest individual he is. He has integrity, and like we know, that is truly hard to come by. But he's in the same situation as Catherine, but on a whole nother well, coming from a different perspective, but in the same situation, he cannot find that connection, that true, honest, heartfelt connection. He is a hopeful romantic, right? And I'm laughing, y'all, because we so used to women being labeled this hopeful romantics or more, well, they say hopeless. I say hopeful because I ain't speaking no hopeless into my situation, okay? But most women are labeled that. You don't necessarily hear someone describe a guy that way. But Jack is that way. He has this friend who's like an orderly at the hospital, and they both work at the hospital. Jack is a nurse. He's an RN, which, people kind of say, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with this. I'm trying to stay away from spoilers, right? But I just want to kind of lay the foundation for you to let you know what you're up against and how this is such a delightful treat you're going to walk away with. But yes, okay. So here's the thing. Jack is an RN nurse, and most women that he come across, number one, they're not real, and they're very shallow, and they would rather him be a doctor or something like this whole high profile thing than what he truly is. And he refused to be untruthful with them. He refused to lie. He wants to be himself. He wants to find someone that gets him, that connects with him, and who don't mind that he is an RN nurse. How difficult could that be? What's wrong with that? That's how I feel. I'm watching a movie and I'm looking at the women that he kind of encountered here. And I'm like, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with you? This is a wonderful guy. Who wouldn't want a guy who would just be honest with you? Who cares if he's not a doctor? You act like he's doing something illegal or something. He's a nurse. A nurse, an RN. So he bright. He's committed, disciplined. As far as how long he done went to school for this. Okay, he's a servant in a sense. So all of this you can kind of pick apart just from his career. But at the same time, I know you got to be careful because just because you are a nurse doesn't mean that you fit this description and that you have this kind of character. We know that. I ain't saying that every nurse has this kind of character. But in Jack's case, he does have this kind of character. So he goes online and he's totally honest about who he is, how he looks. I love that. And on the other end, you have Catherine. Her friend made her a profile online. But Catherine wanted her identity hidden because for good reason. She's owns a very powerful company. She is on, for example, like a Forbes magazine or something like that. So she wouldn't want to be on a dating site and a person sees the Catherine. Because yes, most likely you're going to get people who are users who know who you are and all of that. So she's avoiding that. So she's going in the identity of her executive assistant, Debbie. So that's her name and all of that. And she doesn't think that she's going to get anything out of this. Anything amazing is going to come out of this. But Debbie is like, give it a chance. It's some good guys out there. They're out there. It's just a matter of finding them. You all meeting at the right time. And I just love Debbie's personality here. Like I said, she's humble and she has to be humble to work for someone like Catherine here. But I do love that she is fully confident in who she is as an executive assistant and even as a human being to work for someone like this and to see her boss have everything at her fingertips. And Debbie's situation, who knows what she's dealing with financially and all of that. But she comes to work with a smile on her face. She's very helpful and she's about helping her boss win in every area, regardless of how things are looking for her. So I love that aspect throughout the film about Debbie. But like I said with Catherine, we learn the majority of Catherine's issues that she learns throughout this film is the fact it kind of goes with who she is as a person. And unfortunately, you're a snob. You really are, Catherine. We are thinking the very thing that you were trying to avoid in a guy, which was understandable because of who you are in your profession. I get it. But that very thing that you were trying to avoid was that same thing that rests and lied in yourself. And that was heartbreaking, I have to say. It was. And I felt like throughout the film, of course, she wasn't aware of it. And I wasn't aware of it. It kind of went over my head. But the more that the story start to progress and unfold, we see, okay, now I see why you were single. I see what your fear truly was. It was like holding that mirror up before Catherine here and allowing her to see her true reflection, which she was avoiding probably her entire life, especially her entire career so far. And it took this situation, it took someone honest and humble and truly who he was in every aspect to bring that out of her. So I was happy, of course, we get that delicious happy ending, which y'all know I love and I love telling y'all about. So we do get that. It comes through. Hallmark comes through every time. But at the same time, I felt a little bit unsettled because I'm like, Catherine, did you really deserve Jack? If I look at the reality, yes, in fiction, great. I can get over it. But when I think about the reality, real world, you out here, Catherine, do you deserve someone like Jack? Or could someone like him be more compatible with someone like her executive assistant here, Debbie, who was truly humble and didn't care about those things? Like, she allowed a person to be who they are, to show her who they was, as opposed to doing what Catherine was doing. And you get mad at somebody, but girl, you aligned too. You were hiding your identity, but she felt like she was in the right because Jack's identity, he was hiding like almost in the shadow of someone that was far better than who he really was. That's how she felt as far as profession. Catherine felt like she was in the right for hiding her identity because she was pretending to be lower than who she is. So that showed us a lot about her thinking. Okay, someone who works a job as an assistant or anything lower, that makes them a lower quality of a person compared to you. Is that what you were saying, Catherine? And I felt like when we finally got to that point of the film, when that kind of came up, that could have got us into some deep conversation, they kind of skated over that. We didn't get to dive into that. I felt like it was a lot to unpack just in that alone because it really made you think about, okay, this is how it is in fiction, but could people feel that way in real life as well? That your profession kind of, like, you can scale a person's quality or what they're deserving of life based on their profession, their career, their job. Is that what we're doing now? And y'all probably like, Blah, girl, wake up. Get out of dreamland. Of course, that's what it's been about. You ain't know that? Okay, to a good degree, I feel like, yes, all right, I do get it. And we see it more and more in the time that we're living in now. But at the same time, does that make it right? Does that make it fair? And what does that do to the people who are considered lower class? What does that do to those people? Like, what? They don't deserve anything good. They don't deserve anything wonderful in their life. They shouldn't have anything wonderful in their life just because they don't make as much as you. They may not have the same opportunities as you. That's probably why you're in the position that you're in, because they never even touched what you touched in your life. Or maybe if the roles were switched, Catherine, if you grew up maybe like your executive assistant or someone even what you would consider lower than that, would you have made it to as far as you made it? Or would you have been like them or even so-called less than them? I don't know, but it brings up all of those kind of things. So yes, that's what made me feel some kind of way watching this film. And I wanted to unpack that a lot more. I did. I wanted them to go there. I wanted to strip that to pieces in a sense, so I can truly know, okay, who this person really is. Who is this character? And I felt like I really didn't get that. But at the same time, it was a wonderful ride. It was a wild ride. It was fun. It left me laughing. It left me full of hope. It left me inspired. And it also had me thinking about my character and knowing that's what truly matters. What's inside and not what people see necessarily on the outside. So what I'm going to do about that? And what are you going to do about that? So that's kind of... So that's where I kind of been with this film. Once again, this film is titled Anything for Love, streaming right now on Hallmark Plus. But before I leave y'all for today, let's go ahead and get into the scripture. So we're coming out of Proverbs 20, verse 6, and it reads, most men will proclaim each his own goodness, but who can find a faithful man? That is the question. So y'all, that's all I have for y'all for this video. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. Please remember to leave y'all thoughts, your prayers, your overall take in the comment section below, because y'all know I love to read them. I love to hear from y'all. And if you want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into what was brought up in this discussion today that I felt like I wanted to unpack a little bit more. If you have a little bit more insight that you want to lend for the sake of this conversation, drop all of that down, okay? And until next time, may the Lord bless and keep you both now and forevermore.